This stray dog suddenly realizes his kitten might be a puma. Every time he is bullied, the big cat will stand up for him. Whenever he's hungry, the big cat hunts for him. His name is Bella and he's a stray. His mother was taken away from him when he was very young, but luckily she has a kind mother cat who was willing to raise him as a dog through thick and thin. One day she was wandering in the forest. Suddenly a gun goes off. He ran to the sound. There was a big cat on the ground, dying. He went up to Susu and tried to help him, but when he looked up, two humans were running towards them. Bella could only hide in the woods. It was instantly clear that the big cat was prey for the humans. As Bella looks on, there was a sudden meow from beside her. Apparently it was the big cat's baby. Bella had grown up with a lot of hardship. Bella knows what it's like to wander, and the pain of being separated from his mother. Looking at the kitten, he felt like he saw his own reflection, so he decided to raise him instead of his mother. From that day on, they drank together and lived together. When it was cold, Bella would hold him like a mother to keep him warm. With the cat purring, they fell asleep together. In order for the cat to grow and thrive, Bella began to prey on humans. Whether it's a freshly cooked roast or a freshly caught small fish, as long as it's nutritious, Bella would sneak it away and give it to the kittens. And so the spring goes on and the autumn comes and goes. As the days went by, the kittens were getting bigger and bigger. She was able to search for her own food. Sometimes they even bring some back. At night they snuggle together, although the species is different, but that doesn't stop them. They keep each other warm in their wandering life, but this seemingly cozy life. But there was always a danger. On this day Bella is hunting. The wolves are on a wild goose chase. To protect her children, Bella howled at the top of her lungs, trying to scare them away. But there were so many wolves, not scared at all. Instead, they pressed on. At the very moment of crisis, 3 donkeys came running at the sound. That's what scared the wolves away. The kitten ran away because she was afraid of the humans, but Bella didn't run away because he wanted to get some food from the humans. At night, they camped out. Suddenly, they found a doggy chop on Bella's body. It had his name and his owner's phone number on it. But just as they were making the call, the kitten fights back his fear to save Bella. And the 3 donkeys see the cougar. They were so scared that they ran away. And that's how Bella missed her chance to meet her owner. But luckily the donkeys had left food behind. It was enough to feed him and his cat. Time flies. Autumn became a story, and winter became the landscape. Under Bella's careful tutelage, the puma had successfully grown into an American dog. This day, as mother and son played happily, there was a familiar barking sound. Bella walks over and realizes the other dog was a dog too. He greeted her happily and she responded in kind. And then there was an avalanche. But the rescue came just in time. The owner of the sheepdog survived, and Bella was adopted by a good Samaritan. And although he couldn't let go of his child, but he knew he couldn't change anything. And so he arrived at his new home. His new home was comfortable and warm, but he missed his first owner so much, so he ran away again. He set out on a journey to find his master, but misfortune struck once again. That day he was thirsty. A homeless man handed him a bowl of water. He gulped it down unawares. The tramp took the opportunity to quietly grab him on a rope. From then on, he became a tool to gain sympathy. The days went on for an unknown period of time. Suddenly one day the tramp bought a lot of food and took him with him to the river. This dog is dying of thirst as he lies by the river. The river is right in front of him, but he was chained to the river. It turns out that the stray knew his days were numbered, so he wanted the dog to die with him. As Bella was dying, he remembered his first owner, Lucas. He was a loving man. He used to come to the ruins to feed them. Perhaps it was fate. He took an instant liking to Bella. He adopted him from then on. As Lucas's house was rented, the landlord forbade the keeping of pets, so every time he came to collect the rent, Lucas could only take him to his workplace, a veterans nursing home. But luckily, the veterans were very accommodating. They soon accepted this new member, and Bella seemed to feel the veterans' trauma. She would often lie on top of them to comfort them, and so Bella gained the love of everyone. A happy life began, but the good times were short-lived. Then someone from Animal Control showed up. He told Lucas that pit bulls were forbidden in the city. If he was found running in the street, he would be forcibly euthanized. Knowing this, Lucas had to keep Bella at home every day. But then the unexpected happened. One day a squirrel caught Bella's eye. He couldn't resist running out, and he was caught in the act. But since Bella was a first-time offender, so he was only confined, and a fine and a warning. But the next time he did it, he'll be sentenced to death. After this incident, for the sake of Bella's safety, Lucas decided to send him to his cousin's house in the country. He would bring him back when he moved to a new home. Life at his cousin's house was not bad, though. They had food and drink and were comfortable. But what's the point of being comfortable without Lucas? So he escaped when no one was looking, and so the long journey home began. During the journey, hungry, he was lucky enough to meet a group of his own kind. They taught Bella how to scavenge through the rubbish bin for food. Then they played and played together. But at night, All the dogs go back to their homes. Bella then realizes that rummaging through bins was just their idea of fun, only she was really a stray. He was the only one who really didn't have a home. It was a moment that made him miss Lucas more and more, missing the days when we were happy together. To find his master, he continued his journey towards home. He didn't know how long he had been walking. He came to a brand new city. He searched the whole city but didn't see his master. Suddenly an aroma came to him. The smell of roast chicken. Hungry, he rushed to follow the smell. He managed to get one when no one was looking. He had a good meal, but that's exactly why. Thirsty and unprepared, he was caught by the homeless man. He was caught by the homeless man and became a tool to gain sympathy. This dog is dying of thirst, even though the river is right in front of him. But it was just out of reach. Luckily, two boys came to her rescue, so Bella set off again on her journey home. The journey is dangerous. Once again she encounters the hungry wolves. He was in danger of being bitten to death. There's a loud, angry roar. It's the big cat. He leaps up and kills them. He chased the wolves away in 3 or 2 strokes. Looking at the kitten he raised, now he's grown so big and powerful. Bella was so happy, and the big cat looked at Bella's bloody wounds. It was so painful. He licked and licked and licked. To keep Bella safe, the cat stayed by her side, all the way to the edge of the city. Bella wanted the cat to follow her, but as he looked at him, he realized the cat had a path of his own. He also knew that this could be the last time we meet. And so, although they were sad to leave, mother and son said their final goodbyes. Separately, they headed for their future. Soon Bella arrived in a city he knew so well. He couldn't wait to find his master. He kept on going through the city, but there were too many cars on the road. Finally, he was careless. By the time he woke up again his front leg was badly injured, but home was just around the corner. He fought the pain and ran frantically. The thought of his master seemed to give him endless strength, so he kept running and running and running. Soon he found the old house, but after knocking on the door was opened by an old grandmother. Not seeing the familiar owner, he rushed inside without a second thought, trying to find traces of his presence. But everything has changed. Bella didn't know what to do. She could only lie on the floor with despair in her eyes. But luckily, the kitten he had played with recognized him. That gave him some comfort. But just then the animal control people came again. Bella had to run away again. In his panic, he remembered where his master worked, so he made his way to the sanatorium and fought through the pain. In the hospital, the old soldiers recognized him immediately. They couldn't believe what they'd been through all these years when they saw Bella. So thin and bony and scarred. They couldn't believe what they'd been through all these years. And from afar, Lucas noticed the commotion. The dog and the man ran towards each other. The adventure was finally over. Bella was finally waiting for her master. At last, she was back in her owner's arms, looking at the wounds on her body. Lucas was distraught. He wanted to take him to the vet. Just then animal control came after him. They wanted to take Bella away, and of course Lucas wouldn't allow it. The veterans behind him wouldn't allow it either. As soon as the wardens saw that someone was stopping them, they instantly started throwing labels.
So which one of you is responsible for this crime spree?
But they couldn't have imagined how big Bella's background is. By the end of the story, Bella has moved into a new home with her owner, Lucas, and lives happily ever after. It is often said that dogs are man's most loyal friend. Perhaps for some people, having a dog is all about having a pet that you can call your own. But for a dog's family it often means everything. It's a place he has to go back to. Dogs are often more pure. They know how to hold on to love better than humans do. So get a dog. It's better to be married than to have a dog. Follow me. I'll show you more great movies.